TV 33, WHPR, Comcast 20 in Detroit. And boy, do I have an artistic morning for you today. I have a healthy morning for you today. Everything is so wonderful about what's going to happen today right here on TV 33, Brenda Perryman's show. And I'd like to start off with, next week it's time for Black Women Rock. And I have here the creator, Miss Jessica Care-Moore. Good morning, Jess.
Good morning, Brenda.
And I have Tammy Sanders-Dew, a woman of all trades, who's going to be helping out. So welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
Aren't they cool in the morning?
To be so early and to be so tired. I'm on no sleep. So, yeah.
We do that. We're artists.
But I'm excited. We got a big Black Women Rock is actually kicking off today. That's what's amazing. We've started a week before our actual concert.
Well, that is good because there's so much. I mean, the concert culminates everything.
Yes.
But prior to, let's start off first with a little history in case you all don't know who. I want you to see her hair. It's really kind of teal. It's beautiful. I just love it. I love it. One day I may come in here with something like blue.
I think you look good with some turquoise, some red.
Yeah, I'm thinking of doing something. I'm thinking of cutting these locks totally off.
Oh, they look beautiful.
Thank you. But I just love what's going on here. I love what's going on.
Shout out to Hazel in Southwest.
Hazel. Anyway, let's talk a little about both of you. First.
Yes.
Jess, you went to Cody High School.
Oh, going back that far. Wow. Dinosaur age. Yes, I am a Cody High School graduate. Very proud of that. West Side. I grew up on the west side of Detroit. And actually, my beautiful drama teacher, Susan Story, did really impacted my life. I love her. I hope she's coming to Black Women Rock. She's on my Facebook page.
Yeah.
But she was 30 years teaching drama and theater, something that, as is important to students and has been taken out of most of our schools, art, drama, and the likes. And so it really shaped me when she brought For Color Girls into Zaki Shange's play, into our Le Troupe des Arts, theater space, and it rocked my world. And so I was already writing poems. I was writing since I was 9 or 10 years old. And so that opened me up. So Cody was a good place for me to be honest.
And then afterwards, what happened?
Michigan State, Wayne State, went
and
off to
then
college.
You went to New York.
I left Wayne State. I was in my junior year at Wayne. I went to colleges. I did was take over the university. So I need to do something.
I know.
All I did was organize and take over the
Rebel
university.
with a cause.
Yeah.
And
so I went to New York in 1995. I moved to Brooklyn, and 5 months later, my life changed really quickly after Showtime at the Apollo.
Yes, she did Showtime at the Apollo, and tell them what happened with that.
I won a couple times, about 5 times in a row, and they retired me. I think the youngest living Apollo legend. So Detroit.
I mean, Detroit represents wherever it goes.
With the poem, and I remember Steve Harvey and Kiki Shepard, and Ray Chu and the crew. I mean, everybody was really excited that it was happening.
Right.
They knew something special was happening, and I was just crying and doing my poem.
And you started your own press.
More Black Press in 1997. I thought after winning the Apollo, I had literary agents and managers and lots of. Chuck Sutton was my first manager, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I love Chuck Sutton. Rest in peace.
Right.
Chuck Sutton was my first manager, and so. I was going after the mainstream thing, and then I had to pull back from that, and I started More Black Press in '97 with my first book, The Words Don't Fit in My Mouth, and so our 13th book now on the press is coming out, Sunlight Through Bullet Holes, which is my 4th collection.
And you have an album coming out.
Yeah, Black Tea, The Legend of Jesse James.
Jesse James.
Yeah, I'm so excited. The single is out now. Roy Ayers is on the single, and Jose James.
You sent me something, a link to one.
I sent you the song.
Yeah, I have it. And, I would like to tell you that I first discovered Jessica Care-Moore on an airplane for me to know about her, because when I was on tour, all I could do was read on airplanes because we were always on the airplanes. And I read about this young poet out of Detroit who had started More Black Press. Wow. And I said, I really have to meet her. But she was in New York.
Right.
And I didn't meet her in New York when we were in New York. But as coincidence would have it, a few years later, I met her sister.
Oh,
And her sister said, my sister's a poet too. I said, don't tell me. And that's how I met her initially. Isn't it something?
Yeah.
So we always get these full circle moments if we put it in the universe,
That's
you
right.
know.
Yeah, we all know each other. Anyway.
Yes, yes. And Tammy,
Yes.
where did you grow up?
I grew up in Detroit, and I went to elementary school, Jesu
Jesu.
Elementary.
Yeah.
Yes. And from there, Mercy High School, all girl.
Oh, you went to Mercy.
Yep.
Why the bad girls went.
Right. So I always get that. Oh, Mercy girl, and it's like,
When you go to
yes,
Catholic
I am.
school, like I went to Catholic school, they always say Catholic school girl,
Mhm.
And by the way,
Catholic school too. St. Alphonsus, St. Suzanne.
I was St. Teresa with Chokwe Lumumba.
Oh, with Chokwe.
Yes, he was a year ahead of me, and the high school only had 300 people in it, so everybody hung out with
him a long
everybody.
time.
So yes, he was Edwin then, and Chokwe, he became Chokwe. If I had to write his book, I would say from altar boy to activist.
I know.
Because he did do the altar thing, and he was president of the student council. He was captain of the football team.
Of course he was.
Yeah,
He was tall.
very powerful, very powerful, beautiful
Beautiful.
family,
Yeah.
beautiful family. So,
big loss.
so Tammy, what happened with you after you graduated?
Well, after high school, I went to Wayne State University. Did not know what I wanted to do or be, so I was a professional student for about 5 years. Then I eloped, and my husband at the time, we moved to England. He was in the Air Force, so we were there for 3 years. Then I had my oldest son over there, and then we came back. And I taught dance at my former dance school at MBS Training Center.
Oh yes,
with Beverly Stone. Which was
You taught with Beverly?
I sure did. Yeah.
Beverly Stone.
Mhm. Yeah.
We'll talk about that
Yeah.
after. Okay.
Yeah. So and then life happens, and I had another child. Life happens, and like you said about the stars aligning, and and meeting people. I met Jessica about 2 years ago.
It was like 10 years ago.
Yeah,
Right.
and there's so many different people that have touched my life in the past 3 years that have connected my love for music and entertainment and dancing and just being out and about.
Tammy's the bomb.
so.
She's a co-production manager with Etta Fly, SB on Black and Maroc, and she's been holding me down for the last.
I
40
know,
years.
I know.
Yeah. I mean, really invaluable person, genuine person.
Well, you
Thank
need that. You
Yeah.
need that so that you can continue with your artistic piece and be everywhere that you.
No, yeah, I couldn't breathe. Right now, to be
When was the
honest.
last time you were out of town?
A couple of days.
Couple of days ago. See, she's always traveling, ladies and gentlemen.
I was in Charlotte, North Carolina, and New York before that, and I'm going to LA on Monday. Well, where am I going? Oakland on Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't want to go because it's actually right before Black Women Rock on the 15th, so it's a really hard time for me to be able to have to leave. But I'm traveling most of the month. I'm going to Howard University for a tribute to Mary Baraka on March 22nd.
Oh, at the Blackburn Center?
I'm not sure where I'm going to be. I may be at the Howard Theater. Or
Oh, okay.
But I'm not sure which one.
I was going to tell the audience that Jessica was a very good friend of Mary Baraka.
Yeah.
And is a very good friend of Roz Baraka, his son.
Yeah, he's running for mayor of Newark. Go back.
I wish him the best. How's that
he's
coming?
Gonna win. I think he's doing well. I think if Raz Baraka wins, when he wins mayor of Newark, I think it's gonna inspire a lot of us around the country. I like his the idea of when I become mayor, we become mayor, and we need that kind of community effort in cities like Detroit.
Yes,
Chicago,
yes, definitely.
all over the East Coast, West Coast. When we feel like we're empowered by the person that's in power, then we feel like we actually can make our city different.
And the vested interest you start feeling.
Yeah, and
Well,
Raz's been on the ground for a long time. The principal that's of
right.
Central High School.
Well, he was on my show with you
Yeah,
when he
I
was
brought him.
principal,
I did
right?
bring him
Yes,
in. That's
yes,
right.
yes.
And he's on city council now. So, I love Newark, and Brick City is not that different from the Motor City. You know, so it's got similar struggles, and it's got a lot of beautiful people there that need real leadership, that need people that are on the ground. The community needs to be doing community policing. We need to be taking care of us, not going outside of us in order to find, you know, somebody that's going to save us.
Well, tell us a little about the history of Black Women Rock.
Black Women Rock started in 2004, the National Black Arts Festival. I was producing for the festival at the time, and I wanted to bring something different to the festival. And I'd being in New York City, I was immersed as a poet in like the Black rock scene there, music scene. And I knew Timokali, I knew Imani Azuri, I knew these goddesses, you know. And I was like, well, you need to bring Black women voices to the festival. And I'd heard about Betty Davis. I got introduced to her through Amir from The Roots. And even Talib Kweli had made mention, like, you know, you remind me of Betty Davis. But Amir came up to me at a club. We were doing a gig somewhere at Wetlands in New York when it was open. He said, "You smile with Betty Davis teeth." And I was like, okay, well, you saying something cute. And then I did some more research, and he's like, "You know which Betty Davis I'm talking about?" And I was like, yeah. And
Explain to the audience.
Betty Davis was, you know, queen of funk. You know, she's beautiful, rock soul pioneer. She was married to Miles Davis, where she got she was born Betty Mabry, but she was, you know, married to Miles and got the Davis name. And she introduced Miles to rock and roll. She was coming out of the Jimi Hendrix and the Sly and the Family Stone camp, and so she showed Miles what it was to unloosen your tie, and so helped create jazz fusion by making those connections and opening him up to a different genre of music. And his music changed after that. Yeah, you know, and so. That's who, and she's beautiful. You just Google Betty Davis. You know?
She's on my earrings.
Yeah, and she's on Tammy's earrings. So we have our new. We merch all day.
Right.
Merchandise.
We are branding and our brand. And so I wanted to do something to dedicate it to Betty Davis because she was alive and she still is. She lives in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And because I think we honor people after they're gone, we get to honor people while they're alive.
Yeah, give them their flowers now.
Yeah. Get flowers now and tributes now. And so I brought on my sisters, Imani Azuri, Joy. No, Joy wasn't the first one, but I wanted her to be. Imani Azuri, Divinity Rocks, who now plays with Beyonce. And does her own thing in her own right, has beautiful music and energy. We wish she was coming this year. Right. And Timokali and myself. And then at that time I had all different, I had men playing. That's the only thing I'm doing different. We brought in Afro Punk, the film. We showed it, brought in the director, James Spooner. We did a talk. So the same thing I'm doing now. We do the concert, and then we have we have a huge art exhibition, and which opens tonight, you know, and then at the Julian Madison building tonight at 6 o'clock. That's a free party, actually. Nick Austin from WDET is spinning that. Okay. So we are opening tonight. And so it's grown, and then now it's all women. So, you know, I came to Detroit, and I said I wanted to bring Black Women Rock home. And to the Charles H. Wright would be perfect because I wanted to bring Black Women Rock into educational institutions because it's an educational piece. It's not just a concert. It's definitely not just an award show. It's definitely about celebrating women in their power, in their right now, celebrating women who came before us, and also educating people about the music that is out here that women are making that you don't always hear on the radio.
Right, absolutely. For some reason, it's still that thing going on where women are just not, it's like they get up to the glass ceiling and somebody just...
Yeah, we have no ceilings at Black Women Rock.
I know. Yeah, sky is the limit.
Yeah, come on, Pharrell. Like
sky
a room without a roof. Shout out to Pharrell. I love it.
Right.
So this year we have Joy coming back to Detroit. And she's a guy. Always good to have Joy's energy here. She's just a pioneer, you know. Right. And she's been in this business a long, long time. Kimberly Nicole is a newcomer. She's the first time at the Belief performing in Detroit. So I love that too. I'm bringing Wumi for her first time. Wumi is an internationally known, amazing artist who's been compared to Fela. Her energy on stage.
Really?
Oh, wait till she touched that stage. I'm gonna go crazy. she came out of the dance.
Because I used to go see the real Fela perform.
You're gonna love the real Wumi. She's a force, is all I can say. Imani Azuri is coming. I'm so honored. Imani Azuri, who hits Minnie Riperton notes. Her octaves are crazy.
Wow.
Timokali. Afro Punk, Geechee Goddess, guitar slanging. We can't really do Black Women Rock without Timokali. Who am I missing? Oh, my girl, of course. Stephanie Christian is a mainstay of Black Women Rock. She's been on every single Black Women Rock since we brought her home to Detroit.
Okay.
And she'll be on every show. She's just a force. Her voice is amazing. She's, right now she's based in Detroit. I don't know how long we're going to be able to
keep her.
But she's here for now. We got DJ Stacey Hotwax Hale is spinning the show. And I'm actually, Norma Jean Bell has been my MD for the last few years, but this year I've actually brought on, due to Norma's schedule, John Dixon, and who is the person that produced most of my jazz project.
Right.
And John Dixon is a young genius, and it was hard for me to bring a man into the mix, but if I was going to bring one in, it would be John Dixon. And so I'm happy that he is our special guest on this show. And he's a real calming energy, and he's very organized, and he's very together. I don't think he's even 30 years old, but he's one of the best pianists in the city.
Wow!
And so, real honored to have my brother John working on this with us. So we kick it off tonight, and I have to say shout out to Bert's Place. I was there last night with my brother Bert, because the concert is March 15th. And tickets are on sale now, brown paper tickets, or they get them from the Charles H. Wright Museum. And after the concert, we're having a humongous party at Bert's Marketplace afterwards. So come to just make it a night. Come to the concert, get filled up. Then all the sisters are
let's talk about the fact that it is starting tonight, though.
It's starting tonight. Tonight is the kickoff party. It's a free party. It's at the Julian Madison building.
Where's that located?
It's 1420 Washington Boulevard. It's right up the street where the old Trolley Plaza used to be, if you're a Detroiter, or up the street from the Book Cadillac if you're kind of new. But the Book Cadillac right on Washington, between Michigan and whatever the other street is.
And what are we going to see at this art?
It's a 10-day art exhibition. It's called Get In There. And Get In There is a Betty Davis song. We've got Antonio A.G. Shades is on the show, Alfonso Cox, Gilda Snowden, Sabrina Nelson, Tony Roki,
Christopher Batten.
Christopher Batten,
Marcia
Jones. My work is in there. About three of my paintings, two of my paintings are in there. Etta Fly, I believe, is in the show. So there's amazing visual artists. So it's a 10-day art exhibition. We open tonight, but we will be there for 10 days. And 30% of the money proceeds from all art sales goes to the Susan Taylor's National Care Mentoring Program.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of working with them in Chicago when they came with Mike Eric Dyson and Baba Haki, and I was really impressed. And so Sharon Madison has a relationship with the National Cares, the Detroit Cares Network. And so I said, when she talked about that, I said, that's perfect, because I have a connection to the National Care movement anyway. So we're going to give 30%, so people can come, and we want them to buy art, and we're going to donate this money to the mentorship program, so you have children and you support art at the same time.
Well, Sabrina Nelson is a friend of the show. She's been on. She's a wonderful artist. Gilda Snowden, we all know she is fantastic. Yeah. She's been in the business a long time.
We're excited to have Gilda in the show,
I know.
Actually.
That is like...
score.
That's great.
And so that's tonight, 6 o'clock. People can come. They can buy their Black and Marat earrings. They can have limited edition, beautifully. My cousin Lynn Hawk, her family, the Hawk family, has been my family, and I grew up with Lynn, and she actually has an embroidery company, and so she did these hats for me, and I'm really excited. So
we have the t-shirts.
We have t-shirts, hats, and earrings, and some other surprises for Saturday too. So so we want people to actually come and buy the hats, and so they can wear them to the show, so we can be in the audience like, what's up.
So tell me, what should people expect from the show next week? Saturday night. It's
Saturday the 15th
and Sunday.
Okay, now let's talk about it. We got Saturday is the concert.
That's the 15th.
That's the 15th. On Sunday at 12:30, you need everyone to come back. Bring your daughters, bring your sons, bring yourselves. These women come and tell their stories. It's called They Say I'm Different. 12:30 to 2:30. I always have a talk, an intimate talk with the women of the headliners of the show, and some of the headliners from Sunday, because I don't know why, Brenda, but I am doing a Sunday concert because you know what? The Saturday concert is my headliners, women who've been all over the world and traveled. Sunday, I wanted to give some more women an opportunity to perform, and a lot of women wanted to be on the show. And I never really put MCs on the show. It's definitely a rock concert. Sunday, we're taking it to the 5E Gallery. So we're supporting 4 Black institutions with this Black Women Route. We have the Julian Madison building, which is a Black-owned building. The Charles H. Wright, Bert's Marketplace for the after party. And on Sunday, we're going to be
at 5E.
At 5E Gallery. And that's only $10.
Right.
It's $7 if you have a student ID. So we're giving that show away on Sunday. We got Mama Soul, who is fierce, coming in to rock with her band from Flint. I got Ideas coming with Collective Peace, her full band.
Wow.
Sharice Bradley. We have LaShawn Phoenix Moore. Help me.
Gwen Nation.
DJ Leonard Carter was in that one. So we got the up and coming.
DJ
Adams and Ease, beautiful young group. Miss Corona. The Essence.
And they get
Mahogany Jones.
The Essence is going to be there. Okay.
She bad.
I know. We did a video together. You never know where I show up.
Yeah, my girl Cleo's in the house. So I wanted to broaden the show. So it's a Sunday night jam session at 5E. So that's gonna be You
Fire.
know, and I'm hosting that. I'm gonna be on 0, and I'm
gonna ask you the major dramatic question.
Okay.
Will Black Women Rock ever tour?
We're working on it. We have done Brooklyn, and we are booked for the Apollo Theater in 2015. The American Jazz Museum in Kansas City is trying to bring us. Toronto wants to bring us. So we have a lot of individual cities that are saying, please, can you bring us? But we need corporate sponsorship. We need some corporate money. So we just need someone to underwrite. Because it's beautiful. Now, my dream is to like have this big Black Women Rock tour bus with all these goddess sisters coming out, pouring out of the bus and just hitting the city and doing community talks and doing a concert and going into schools. And so I think it's gonna come. I'm putting the energy out there. We're working on a possible digital television show right now with a cable network.
Oh.
So yeah, we're doing a couple things. So irons in the fire.
Oh,
that's for sure.
Wow, this is great because I think the world needs to see.
Yeah.
And the funny thing was, yesterday I watched. I finally saw this BET Honors.
Oh, okay.
I had DVR'd it. I'm finally looking at it, and I saw Berry Gordy, and they said, someone needs to know what the phone number is if they want more information.
Oh, for us, they should BWR Production.
Yeah, it's an email BWR Production. That's Black Women Rock Production @gmail.com. So BWR Production @gmail.com.
Because if I give out my phone number, all kinds of little boys gonna be calling me, and I'm gonna get in trouble. I'm trying to be focused. Okay, so and then blackwomenrock.com. They can also go to the website for more information about the concert. The flyer information is there. And then come tonight, and we're going to be there tonight answering questions, introducing people to some of the music and some of the artists involved in the show.
Yes, because tonight they're going to be over at the Madison Building.
Yes. And it's the Julian Madison Building, so people don't confuse it. I think there's another Madison Building, but it's a Julian Madison Building on Washington Boulevard, 1420 Washington Boulevard. And that is tonight at 6 p.m.
Free.
Yep, and it's free. We're going to have wine, so free wine and little appetizer food and beautiful art and people and good music. Nick Austin can spin, so I'm excited about Nick Austin spinning. He's got a good music.
Well, I think what the Madison, about a block over, was the Madison Theater.
Yeah.
And that's been torn down. And that's probably why people got some confusion, because as a young girl I used to go to Madison Theater, and then somebody made a video in there. I forgot. I mean, there's so many videos that have been made in there.
Right.
But that's a piece of Detroit history. Anyway, they were talking to Berry Gordy, and they were talking about Detroit. And the people, say, how did so many people come out of Detroit?
Well, they're still coming.
Right. Yes, but here's the thing, what he said, and this is how I'm correlated to you. He, or Smokey said, you needed that person who could just kind of spearhead the people and give them the opportunity to display their talent, to show their talent.
Because we have it.
I mean, it's all over. And he said, it can be in your town or another town, but you need that person.
Right.
And you have brought in so many artists. You're bringing in so many artists. You're giving artists who are local an opportunity to show their wares and everything.
Yeah. We had to turn down so many vendors this year, and I usually keep it very limited. But this year, people really just wanted to be a part of it, and we're doing a beautiful program. Shout out to people who gave me Guitar Center has come on board.
Oh, Guitar Center,
Guitar Center is going to be raffling off a guitar at Black Women Rock on Saturday.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that, and giving us a little bit of backline support, and I needed it. And we've got a Peacock Room. Good girls go to Paris Crepes. Shout out to my girl Toria holding it down there on Woodward. We need you open. And good girls, we love your crepes.
Salika's handcrafted jewelry.
Busted in Detroit. It's a great new lingerie spot. These are a lot of young women entrepreneurs that have supported me. Avis Ford in Southfield, they're supporting us this year. Yeah. So we've got which is a black owned.
Yes.
So dealership, and so I don't know. I'm trying to think, who are we forgetting? Oh, Jacquees. Oh my goodness! The sister that makes the bow ties. She'll kick my butt. She's come down with us. So we've got a lot of independent entrepreneurs who are helping me pay for my program. Right. It's real. I'm using that money to help me be able to have a beautiful 10th anniversary.
Shout out to the Charles H. Wright.
Shout out to the Charles H.
Wright. Oh, every time. Yeah.
Yeah, who's been supporting me since I got home, you know.
Right.
And I really appreciate it. I remember when Reese came and I and did the show a few years ago. She said, Jessica, I've never performed in a museum before. And so that's, because, you know, they're not asking her to perform in museums. And so I'm purposely love it. I mean, we've done the DIA and we've done Campus Marches and we've done Shane Park in Detroit. We've done other spaces here. But the Charles H. Wright is the home because it's our space and we're allowed to take our time and do our show correctly.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Shout out to Piper Carter and the 5E Gallery. Love you, Piper. She's helps me with my multimedia.
Right.
It's a community effort.
Yes.
It's a sisterhood. I would not be able to do this. I mean, it's not me. I'm not Barry Gordy.
No, but you know what I'm talking about.
I got it. If I didn't have these other women, I'm telling you. And
but
my son, shout out to my son King, who's being extra quiet off on the side.
But what I'm saying is you give people a place to land and show their talent. And that's what's very, very important. So ladies and gentlemen, Black Women Rock starts tonight at the Julian Madison building.
6 o'clock. It's free.
And then we have and that's going to be that exhibit's going to be up a week or
10
so.
days.
10 days.
And they can buy tickets from us tonight. We'll have tickets for sale.
Tickets for Black Women Rock, which will sell out. There's no two ways about that. And then they have Black Women Rock on the 15th, next Saturday night.
That's the big show. It's $25 for the ticket for about $1 million show.
I mean, seriously, the talent there is over a million. Yeah. And then on the 16th, there's another show, a talk back.
Talk at 12:30 at the Charles H. Wright. We come back to the museum. I really tell people to please come back for the talk at 12:30. But after the concert on the 15th, we're going to head over to Burt's. Everybody come to Burt's on Saturday the 15th. We'll be there, after 11. So
where's the concert? Is it still at the Charles Wright?
Yeah,
okay, on the 16th.
No, the 16th is that 5E Gallery.
That's what I thought. That's what I was trying to say. I know.
On Sunday we take it to the 5E. That's more of the local show, and it's gonna be killer.
Yeah.
So March 15th, the Charles Wright, and March 16th
at the 5E Gallery that night.
Yeah. Wow.
Can I
and
just
that's
say
just a door
really
thing.
Yes.
About Jess. I love you, Jess. This is my Jessie girl. But you know how you were saying about how she offers people that platform and that ability to showcase their wares and their talent. That's so her. As wonderful as she is, as out there as she is, as anointed as she is, she's not afraid to let other people shine. She's not afraid to let other people get their spotlight. She's almost wants to be in the back, to let other people go forward, and we have to push her and say, no, you go out there.
That's a true teacher, too.
Yes,
true teacher. Well, thanks a lot, ladies. Black Women Rock. It starts today. Starts this evening at 6.
Start the line early.
Yeah.
5:30. Start the line on 1420 Washington. Get them all worried. Like, what's happening?
Right.
The protesters. What's happening?
And we'll be back in just a minute with Goddess on the Go, Leora, Edut, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Goddess on the Go.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the Brenda Perryman Show right here on TV 33, WHPR, Comcast 20 in Detroit. And we just had Jessica and Tammy on talking about Black Women in Rock. And now here's another celebration of women. And this is so appropriate because it's Women's History Month anyway. We have Leora Edut. Did I pronounce that right?
Totally got it. On
From,
the first try.
from Goddess on the Go. And this is a project. I'm doing some poetry with this Sunday.
Yeah, we're so excited to have you, Brenda. Such an honor.
Well, I'm so excited to see you because, number one, I knew her when she was a little girl, when she used to actually live here. She lives in New York now. How long have you been in New York?
11 and a half years now.
Wow. So tell me, let's go into a little of your history before we do talk about Black Women Rock. Tell everybody your background, where you grew up and everything.
Well, I grew up right here in Oak Park, Michigan, actually a few blocks away from you, Brenda.
Well, the world knows where I live now.
Or where you used to live. So my journey has been quite a journey. Uh, so I grew up out here in Oak Park, Michigan, and to be completely honest, I grew up and it was a little bit rough for me, and I went through a lot of transitions in my young teenagehood and young adulthood, really trying to find myself. My girlfriend out in New York coined it the best when she said, "You went from gangster to goddess." So, around my young 20s, I almost went through to prison twice, and I came out of that, thank the Lord, on the other side. I moved out to New York 11 years ago, and luckily I have two older sisters who were into a lot of spiritual and transformational work, and luckily share that with me. And in the beginning, I was very skeptical about that. You know, coming from Detroit, I was just like, and then it opened up my entire life, Brenda. It really helped me to make peace and amends with my father. It helped me to let go of a lot of guilt and shame that I was feeling about myself from my past. And it just opened me up to a whole new world, and I started to just immerse myself in a lot of learnings and a lot of unlearnings at the same time.
Right.
And about 4 years ago, I got to a point where I was doing all this work, but I felt very old.
What kind of work were you doing?
I was doing lots of workshops and seminars and transformational work, and started meditating and working with different coaches and learning about the things that you may not learn and have access to in school, like learning about communication and relationships and how to access things that I feel like we're naturally born with. Like, we are all born with a light inside of us.
Yes.
But sometimes we have experiences that dim that light, and we shut that off. And we stop believing in ourselves. Mm-hmm. And so I started doing that inner work and doing a lot of forgiveness. And around that time, about 4 years ago, when I was feeling alone, I was wondering what that was. But I feel like when you're on that kind of path of awareness, you get messages. You get the next message and the next lesson. And so my lesson was actually about sisterhood at that point in time. And I started meeting these women, and they weren't women that I would have normally chosen as my friends in the past, but there was something so dynamic about these women. I was like, I felt good when I walked away from them, and I was like, you know what? Why not? Like, why not call these women into my life as my friends? And we started this weekly goddess gathering, and it was at my apartment. It was about 7 girlfriends
in New York City.
And it was the first time that I was able to just take off my mask and
let go
and share the parts of myself that maybe weren't always perfect.
You know, and I'm listening to you, I listen to Jess. Sisterhood is such a wonderful thing.
It heals.
It does.
It heals because there's just something that we receive from one another as women that no one else can give us. And men give us great things, they really do, but there's something, like, we walk away from hanging out with our sisters and like our belly feels full, like we ate a 5-course meal, like we feel it in our heart is full, and we're able to go back out in life and do the things that maybe we felt like we were doubting ourselves, but our sisters have our back, just like Jess was talking and her sister had her back, you know, earlier, and just, you know, they bring us forth when sometimes we're a little, let me hang out in the back, and they just push us and they remind us, like, of that power that's inside.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
It's so important that we do that for each other, and that we feel safe enough to do that, to share that.
It's a sisterhood show.
Yeah, it is a sisterhood show.
I know. You made me almost want to cry, because sometimes when you're going through things, and all of us do, and sometimes it's out of pride or whatever. We just don't talk to anyone about it. And it's good to have people that we can talk to about it. So you all started meeting at your apartment and sharing.
And sharing and also celebrating our lives too, because we don't do that often enough as women. We are always taking ourselves down. We're always trying to dim the light down a little bit when, it's not about ego, but it's about owning that, and like sometimes just stepping back and being grateful for the journey that got us to this next point and to that next point, and taking a moment to be still and honor that.
So during that time, you were doing some things as a makeup artist?
Yep, I was doing makeup. I was traveling all over the world, and makeup definitely was part of my journey. I'm so thankful because one step always leads you to the next. And I met this young woman, Bridget Evans, along the way, and she has a company called Red Carpet Media where she connects celebrities with nonprofit organizations. And she was working with an organization out in New York called GEMS, which works with young girls who've been sexually trafficked. And she invited me to a documentary of the screening of the movie Very Young Girls, which was done with Showtime and Netflix. And I was Brenda, like moved to tears because you just don't realize that this stuff is happening in your own community.
The victimization.
Under your nose.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely.
And I was like, I have to work with these girls. Like, I
have to.
For my own journey.
Well, and you had something to tell them. You there but for the grace of God could have been you or any one of us.
Yeah.
So, as far as starting Goddess on the Go, it kind of rooted in your living room, right?
It rooted right in my living room. It did, and from.
Let's tell the audience what's going to be happening, and so you started the movement.
Yes.
4 years ago.
I started the small group
4 years ago,
and it was just the more and more we met, it like a message was coming through me that was like, this is something that you need to bring to the world for all women, because I started really exploring deeper into meditation, into movement, into my feminine energy. Like, I got back into my body again, and I had, you don't realize sometimes, but you can be in your head so much when you're in such masculine energy all the time. And I got back in my body. I started feeling good. I started feeling my body again, and dancing again, and expressing myself, and just owning all the things that are beautiful
and having
about us
fun
as women, and having a freaking blast, like it's like an ongoing party.
Right. People don't realize sometimes how important that is. And when they say something's missing from my life, it could be just having that good time too.
Having that good time, and life is so simple. It really is.
And so short.
And so short, and really so short. And I wake up every day, and I'm humbled, and I'm so grateful that to come through that, and then to bring that forth to other women. It does feel like a gift.
So when did you start doing it on a bigger scale?
On a bigger scale, it was about a little bit over a year and a half ago, and it started out as this idea that was like, oh, this would be just like a fun side business. And I bought in 4 different experts, and what's awesome about Goddess on the Go, it's a mix of everything that women really need. So think like a movement class, a health expert, somebody who's really deep into teaching around meditation and accessing your feminine energy, and finding your true passions, birthing your business, feng shui, astrology, all the things that women really are interested in learning about, but we don't have time to take a million classes. So it's a full day where it's 4 experts, and it's all experiential. So you're not just sitting bored listening. you're really taking it in. And I feel like when we take things in through our body, the body remembers. And it stays with us wherever we go.
Right. So where have you done Goddess on the Go?
We've done Goddess on the Go in New York City, of course. We've done it in LA. We're going back to LA March 30th. And here, it was so important to bring it back home. It feels full circle.
Right.
So we did our first one last August, and now we're doing our second one this Sunday.
This Sunday, March 9th. Tell us where it's going to be, who's going to be there, how the women should dress, everything.
Sure. So it's going to be at Laurel Manor in Livonia, in a very beautiful goddess-like space, because we got to make you feel good when you walk through the door. Make you feel like I can breathe and I'm taking this day for myself.
So what should we wear? What should women wear?
Well, we're going to move. We got a groove class, which is led by Becky Sidin of Citizens Yoga, and it is a mix of dance and yoga. And
how do you do that?
And so Becky, she's actually a psychotherapist, so she brings in like a whole other dimension into the movement and your affirmations, and you're really feeling it through your body. So you definitely want to come dressed in comfy yoga-like clothes. Leave your big handbags and heels. This is a day for us really to connect, slow down, do something good for ourselves as women, and come together as sisters.
And who else is going to be there?
Well, you're going to be there.
Yes, I'm going to do some poetry to kind of inspire.
To empower us, the women, and really light that fire and that energy in that room.
And then you have?
And then we have Trina Parham, who is a love and dating coach.
OG. Love and dating.
Yes.
OG.
Yeah, and it's also about learning how to love yourself first. So whether you're in a relationship or not, that part is so important.
Well, if you don't love yourself, you're not, when you're trying to love someone else, a lot of times people transfer that love to somebody else and not to themselves. Yeah. And then that person walks out of their life or something like that. Another thing is they put the responsibility of their happiness in someone else's hands, which is a bad thing. I mean, because you're dumping everything you have into this person. Yes. And then, that's so unfair to that person too. Yeah. But if you have it together in yourself, you don't have to do that.
Yeah, it's about two healthy people coming together to have partnership in the world. And
absolutely.
Then you can thrive, and then you can get through those blocks that we all hit. No matter, every relationship hits a bump.
Yeah.
Every single one. So it's how do you deal with it in that moment, in that next moment.
Absolutely.
And if it's two healthy people who love themselves so much, kind of nothing you can't get through.
That's true. Oh, wow. That is really true. And you have one more expert?
I have two more experts.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have Kira Sherman, who's actually, she is an intuitive, but I like to call her a truth coach, because she really helps us connect to that truth that all of us women were born with. That thing that we feel in our gut, that's real.
Yes.
That thing that goes through our body and is like,
we should trust it more.
We have to learn how to trust that and honor and really honor that, because that's real.
Right.
That's real. That's our gift as women that we were born with, that we are able to
You know how they talk about
that.
Women's intuition and everything? We actually do have
that.
We actually do. I know, unfortunately, I know I do have it. And sometimes I see things I don't want to say anything, because people will say, well, how do you know this and that? Right. I just feel it. I know.
You feel it, and it's so important for us to feel our feelings and to cry and to heal. Like, all of that is part of our process.
Right.
It is so good to feel, and that's your truth. And it's just one of the greatest things that we as women really own.
Right, right. And next?
And then the last, actually it's two women, and it's a company called She Creates Change, and it's one of my mentors who she's I call her Wise Woman, Saparna Bazine and Samora Suber, who's coming from LA. Um, when they open their mouth, your mouth is open because just brilliance radiates. And Saparna is all about teaching you how to really birth your passion and your purpose into the world. That thing that we were all born with, it's like we all have something we were meant to give back to this world.
And it's unfortunate that we have been dissuaded. Maybe it's as Americans, maybe it's been women, or, to not follow our passions by other people that we respect sometimes, because you can love doing a certain thing and then somebody said, but that's not practical.
Yes, that's not safe. Keep it safe.
Right.
Make the money. But there's a part of you that's going to that job every single day, and you're like, you may bring home a great paycheck, but there's something missing, and you know it, and that's that truth right there. And I heard something best from one of my, I have a spiritual financial coach, and he's actually a man, but he's so wise, and he said when we started working together, he said, Leora, create a business with a purpose that gives back. And as soon as I started doing that, I'm telling you, the ease and all the abundance that I wanted, and I'm not just talking about financial abundance, but I'm talking about that abundance that everywhere you go, you're receiving abundance, whether that be like a smile from another person or just that connection, that human spirit connection. That's abundance.
That's so important. That is abundance. And I remember as a child, when I went away to college, my mother said, I was going to be practical, a practical teacher. I was going to be a practical teacher, even though at the age of 5, I started directing little plays with my best friend and all these little scenarios. But my mother said, now be practical, teach something, you'll keep your job and everything. But I was in a horrific car accident at 18, and I was... And when I finally got the opportunity to go back to college after the surgeries and the months in the hospital, I said, I want to major in drama. And I told my mother, I'm changing my major to drama. And my mother said, you'll starve. I said, well, I'll teach it. But it's something, I got to do it. I got to do it, because when you almost lose your life, you start saying, well, wait a minute, how am I going to use this life? I almost lost it, but I had to figure out how I'm going to use it, how I'm going to use it to benefit myself and to benefit others. I wanted to have a happy life following my dreams. Anybody, as we know, anybody who follows their dreams usually ends up doing well and being a happier person.
You start to live a mind-blowing life, because every day is not business as usual. Every day wakes up feeling
it's an
like
adventure.
It's an adventure. And there are bumps along the way, but the way, because you're so living your dreams and you're so connected to your passion and your purpose, the way you're able to look at it and deal with it is like,
tell people how they could get their tickets and information.
Sure.
Because it's this Sunday.
It is this Sunday, and we only have a very few amount of spots left. So the website is Goddess, GODDESS-onthego.com. Once you go on the site, you want to go to events, and you will see the Detroit event, and just hit the Eventbrite link on there and sign up and come hang out with us on Sunday. It's
on Facebook too, isn't it?
It's on Facebook, also underneath Goddess on the go.
Goddess the hyphen is that little straight thing. Goddess on the go.
Yes.
Right. Well, I'm looking forward to it. I know it's going to be a wonderful thing, because, we should use this month, and we should do it periodically to kind of get away, take care of ourselves, because we are better for our children. We are better for the men in our life, our friends, and everything. We're better if we're good.
Self-care is so important to us women. We cannot just be going. We weren't born as machines or robots. We were born with a living, beating heartbeat.
I'm going to find this status real quick that I put on Facebook yesterday, because I didn't realize that it actually goes into what you were talking about. Here it goes. Just a second. This is weird, because so many people like this particular status. And I got it, everybody. Just, okay. It's not selfish to love yourself, take care of yourself, and to make your happiness a priority. It's necessary.
It is necessary. That's self-love, and to slow down enough where you start to hear and listen to your truth in your soul. It is
there a number or anything that anybody could call? Or
there's no number, but just if you need to personally, send the email, you can find that right through the site.
Okay. goddess-onthego.com. Okay. Leora, thank you. Welcome to Detroit and everything. And